was scrolling Netflix looking for something to watch when I spotted something I'd never clicked on before, the Games tab. I play video games, so this felt relevant. I immediately wanted to know what Netflix thought a game was, and to my surprise, I stumbled across titles I knew, like 12 Minutes, which I already suffered through on the channel, but then I found these. Netflix dating games based on their popular reality shows like Too Hot to Handle, The Ultimatum, Perfect Match, you get the gist. So with Valentine's Day upon us, I thought it was a good time to ask, who are these for? And most importantly, can I actually unleash some chaos? If you're new here, welcome, I'm Ellonely Gamer, and I make videos about strange games and bad ideas. If that sounds like your type of content, go ahead and hit subscribe, because I'd really love to have you around. Now let's get spicy! For the sake of this video not being an hour long, we're focusing on two games today, The Ultimatum and Too Hot to Handle. Both are based on Netflix's most popular high-drama dating shows that test relationships through very unconventional and restrictive scenarios. But we'll get into the details once we get into the games. It makes sense that they were turned into video games, as the shows themselves tend to turn human connection and relationships into games. Unsurprisingly, these games attract a primarily femme audience, with data showing that around 45% of the core player base is between 35 and 54, meaning that I'm the perfect test subject. And after spending a cumulative of 15 hours on these, I brought you the receipts. Let's start with The Ultimatum. The Ultimatum is a show where a couple is asked to decide whether or not they're ready for marriage by switching partners. During the game, we have to go on dates with other people and choose a person to experience a trial marriage with, a person that is not our original partner, because nothing strengthens a relationship quite like briefly marrying a stranger. Once the rules are explained, we're immediately dropped into avatar creation. I'm always having a hard time picking names, so I went with this, because I already feel like I'm in hell. I was pretty impressed with the customization options here, and in order to take advantage of this, I went as unconventionally attractive as the game would allow. And honestly, given the circumstances, I think Hellzel turned out great. We are then introduced to our host, Chloe Yeah, I don't know how to pronounce that. She welcomes us to the show and explains that Hellzel arrived with her partner, Taylor, which we get to design next. Perfect. They were made for each other. Taylor is apparently a photographer whose work blew up on social media and has a massive fan base. Hellzel calls them the Taylords. If that made you cringe, I need to warn you now, because this game is full of dialogue that will make your skin crawl, and not in the fun way. So our lovely couple here are on the show because Taylor will only make their relationship public and actually acknowledge Hellzel's existence if they are married. Great! Nothing says a healthy relationship like outsourcing it to strangers on the internet. We're off to a great start. We are then introduced to a conclave of other equally as cringy couples, but don't worry, most of them are just filler. The only important ones to remember here are Brenda and Eamon. Speaking of, Brenda immediately starts flirting with our boyfriend, so naturally the game wants us to hate her now. Let me oblige. Come tomorrow, we are officially breaking up with Taylor and ready to mingle. Oh, look at that, big shocker, Brenda is ready to pounce. Before breaking up though, Hellzel and Taylor reminisce about how they met. She was attending a gallery fundraiser, he was there live streaming it, but then he laid eyes on our beautiful Hellzel and immediately falls off a ladder, bumps into a piece of art and almost breaks it, but then lunges after it and saves it last minute. A true hero. Officially single, we begin dating to find our trial husband/wife. Our first date is with Eamon. He cooks for us, sets the kitchen on fire, throws mashed potatoes in Hellzel's face, and then asks to kiss it off? Well, what do you know, romance is alive and well. I deliberately chose every wrong option and stayed loyal to Taylor, so the date went terribly. Mission accomplished. Meanwhile, Taylor's gone on a date with Brenda, and theirs goes great. They take a selfie and he lets her post it, something he would never allow Hellzel to do. The drama. I cannot believe these people's biggest relationship problem is who's allowed to post what on social media, but I digress. Our next date is Isabella, and we go mud driving. How thrilling! Also, they couldn't be bothered to make the car seat smaller here. We look like toddlers trying to drive a full-sized vehicle, which kinda got a kick out of me, not gonna lie. Once again, I make every wrong choice possible and swiftly disappoint Isabella, just like I did my parents. At this point, you might be wondering what the goal is. I don't know, I was promised butterflies and all I'm getting is shallow people with Instagram problems. Maybe I'm not playing this game as it was intended. Our next date is with Daniel, and I decided to give it a sincere try to see if it made any difference in how much I was actually enjoying this game. He's gay, I'm uninterested, we would have been the perfect match. But alas, he's off the menu, as he was only introduced here to become our BFF on the show. Next up, Gio, and he decides to have us skydiving. What is wrong with these people? Whatever happened to a meal and a walk? The funniest line here was the one where the wind whips Hellzel's hair as she looks over the landscape, which is proof that my choice of hairstyle was not taken into account at all. Another terrible date over, we are slowly approaching the round table ceremony, where we will need to choose a trial spouse. Here's the real kicker though. The game pretends you're the one choosing, but it already has some predefined options for you. We only get to choose between Eamon, Gio, and Isabella, all of whom I hate. I went with Eamon, not because he was the greatest choice, but because there was a slight possibility to cause more drama since Brenda chose Taylor. Here's where we also get the chance to speak to Eamon's mother on the phone. She just finished chemo. What is happening in this game? And since Eamon was somewhat forcibly assigned to me, I decided to take this opportunity to make his life a living hell. I had to sleep in separate beds, turned him down constantly, avoided any physical contact, and embarrassed him in front of his family. Don't feel too bad for him though, cause he's not actually the good guy he's trying to portray. Eamon apparently bought a restaurant without consulting Brenda, his original girlfriend, and dropped their entire savings into it too. I don't know about you ladies, but that is plastered with red flags in my book. This is where the game started feeling familiar. We've been bombarded with stories like this for a while. Stories where emotional instability is treated as depth, and love means trying to fix the other person. From 50 Shades of Grey to Passengers, this sort of tale is depicted as the appeal. Just think about how often toxic behavior gets repackaged as romance in our media. Well, the Ultimatum is regurgitating the same toxic tropes, just in a visual novel format this time. I think it's interesting to pay attention to how frequently romance is depicted like this in media, and especially media aimed at women. How about we get more women saying they're happy in their relationships in our entertainment, rather than them wondering whether or not they can actually endure the relationship. Yeah, what a day that would be. Okay, let's get back to the game and see what new hell they got in store for us this time. We've reached the end of our 3-week marriage trial with Eamon, so now we have to do a 3-week marriage trial with Taylor. I know that sounds confusing, but we came to the party, so now we have to dance. Apparently Taylor's social media obsession isn't his only issue. He also cheated on Hellzel with a fan a couple of months back. Yeah, things are getting better by the minute here, guys. The 3 weeks with Taylor were full of dates, drama, Eamon texting and appearing at inappropriate hours, and a kink club? What? Okay. I was so ready for this to be over right about now. But first, we must choose a partner to marry. I went with Taylor, not because he was the better choice out of the two, but because I decided that he would be the receiver of all my wrath regarding this game. After picking out Hellzel's wedding dress, we meet Taylor on the beach to exchange vows. Look at his luscious curls glistening in the sun. Too bad my plan was to break up with him mid-ceremony. Hellzel leaves, choosing herself. I wasn't expecting much going into this, but somehow it was worse than anticipated. The game was full of Netflix self-promotion, AI art and dialogue, cause if an actual person wrote this, they should be fired. And the one thing this game actually needed to succeed at, well, the romance is terrible. It's not provocative, it's not intriguing, and no butterflies were activated during my 9-hour playthrough. I do not recommend this, not even out of curiosity. To truly cement what this game is, here is this incredible stand-up comedy routine, taken word for word from the game. Raise your hand if you're here tonight on a date. So I'm going to give you a little relationship advice. Here is the perfect way to tell if your partner has a dark secret. Tell them their name is trending and watch their reaction. Are they curious, excited, or are they saying, I have to go make some calls, do not go on the internet today? Too Hot to Handle is a show where a group of attractive singles are confined to a luxury resort and are given complete freedom to date each other. But if they want to win the grand prize of $200,000, they have to learn to form deeper emotional connections by abstaining from any physical activities with other contestants or themselves. If this is anything like the Ultimatum, I think I'll be fine. Just like before, we're thrown straight into avatar customization. And I decided to continue this adventure with Hellzel. You know, she broke up with Taylor and decided to find love on another reality show. Unfortunately though, the customization options here are much more limited than the ones in the Ultimatum, because on this show, everyone must be hot. So I'm not given free rein to get Hellzel's signature buzz cut, thus I went in the complete opposite direction. We are then introduced to all the other hot singles. It's okay, I know you already forgot all of them. The one I had my eye on here was Alex. I mean, look at that bathing suit. They're as ridiculous as I wanted Hellzel to look, so that's our pick for this run. The first party of the season begins and we're encouraged to mingle. And by mingle, I mean get people blindfolded and let others do stuff to them without their consent. Very romantic indeed. But the fun doesn't last long because our host makes an appearance. Ah, great, they didn't even bother getting a host for this one. Instead, they got Lana, the AI virtual assistant slash intimacy police. Lana explains the rules to everyone despite their protesting. So no physical intimacy of any kind before learning how to form deeper emotional connections. There's a $200,000 prize at the end of this 30-day trial, but every rule broken deducts money from the pot. Once I learned this interesting tidbit of information, my one and only goal in this game became draining that prize pool. I had to have fun somehow, okay? Don't judge me. Unfortunately, the next morning, Lana informs us that the rules have already been broken. Oh no, someone beat me to it. It was Justin, the French personal trainer guy. He and Jada shared a kiss, meaning that we all lose $3,000 from the prize money. Unacceptable. I clearly need to step this up. So the coming night, I make my move on Alex and steal a kiss. Look at me being all adventurous and whatnot. I will say that despite the AI art and the truly questionable writing, this game is actually a bit more fun than the Ultimatum. Mainly because of the very strict rule system, which makes it more like an actual game. Also, completely ignoring said rules with almost no consequences makes it even funner for me personally. The next morning, we get to go on a date with Alex. And to my amazement, you can customize their appearance as well. I was thrilled to finally get rid of that stupid haircut. Fun fact though, once the date is over, their appearance switches back to the default one. But at least we can change it for now. This game gives me so little joy, I have to celebrate every small victory. The date was pretty boring, Alex's flattery was pretty average, but more importantly, prime time to lose us more money. Unfortunately though, I wasn't the only one committed to our collective financial destruction. Justin and Jada decided to take their relationship relationship to the next level, and suddenly we were down $23,000. I was not prepared for competition. Clearly, something had to be done. Something by the names of Henri, Sarah, and Alex again.
Bruh.
My efforts managed to lose us so much money, I was surprised the other contestants didn't immediately kick me off or something. By this point, I was pretty set in my ways. Alex was my main romance, but if the opportunity arose to lose us money with someone else, I was absolutely taking it. Well, the game then decides to bring some new contestants on board. Candace, one of the newbies, was instantly all over Alex, because apparently these games cannot exist without extra drama. As if Hellzel sleeping around with half the house wasn't enough drama. Candace is annoyingly evil, Hellzel gets jealous, Alex wants us to finally make a decision. It's crazy, I tell you. But I do end up picking Alex. The sad part here is that Lana, the AI assistant, gives us these watches to walk around with that turn green whenever she witnesses some sort of emotional growth. And during that time, the rules are temporarily lifted, which makes my goal of losing us money significantly harder. But hey, at least we're nearing the end of the experiment. At this point, the prize money is down to $40,000. Yes, I've been busy, but so have the others, okay? It's time for our final date with Alex. We get a private suite equipped with rose petals, candles, and all manner of toys. But no matter how hard I try, I could not get the prize money down to zero. So unfortunately, the last night was a complete disappointment, because the game wants to really hammer home the fact that we have grown emotionally. But us being well-behaved, emotionally grown humans pays off, because the rest of the contestants were given the task to vote on whether or not Hellzel and Alex would break the rules. And if they didn't, Lana would add an additional $50,000 to the prize money. Let's see who's about to win the grand prize. Are you kidding me? I was the least emotionally developed person there. I encouraged others to break the rules. I actively tried to bankrupt everyone. Gosh, if I'd known this, I wouldn't have lost Hellzel so much money, but oh well. So after playing the Ultimatum and Too Hot to Handle, I can safely say that Netflix isn't trying to teach us how to love. It's barely trying to get us to enjoy a good romance visual novel. It's funny to think that these games claim to be about growth, but both feel shallower than a puddle in a drought. And even though these games are very clearly designed to appeal to my demographic, I felt no butterflies. I actually felt bored, and occasionally impressed by how bad these actually were. If I had to pick one though, Too Hot to Handle is slightly more fun to play, and the writing is marginally better than the Ultimatum, but still bad enough to make you want to scream at your phone. Which brings us back to the main question. Who are these for? These games are for no one. Just low-effort, AI-ridden media to be consumed brainlessly, which, to be fair, is very on brand for Netflix lately. If you made it this far, make sure to boop that like and subscribe button, cause I post gaming videos weekly and occasionally endure things like this so you don't have to. As always, thank you so much for watching, and remember, if a relationship feels like a game you have to win, it's probably not worth playing. Bye!